Business Enfant 5. Now, the reason I'm confused and everyone's confused is the two of these guys have swapped around. Flo's over here because she's going to use her computer in a minute.
Just on it to confuse her.
Yeah, I know, you completely confused me. I'm thrown. She's going to start, though, with unrest in Ukraine, continuing to get a lot of attention in the international press.
That's right. It's in the editorial of the International New York Times today that says that Ukraine is at a critical point, and it takes a look at how to resolve the Ukrainian crisis. Now, according to this editorial, the U.S. and the EU should really put some real emergency aid on the table to tie Ukraine more closely to the West, because without such financial support, Russia will continue to have leverage on Ukraine and draw it into its geopolitical orbit. So there's nothing really new in this editorial. And to tell you the truth, I felt like this is the editorial I keep reading. But I guess the fact that papers are still focusing so much on Ukraine is proof of just how desperate the situation is almost 2 months after the beginning of that standoff.
And a lot of focus on the Vatican as well, after a scathing UN report.
That's right. You can read about it in The Guardian, this damning report by the UN Committee on the Rights of the Child about how the Holy See handled the clerical sex abuse scandal. And last month, in fact, a delegation from the Vatican appeared before that committee, and the panel accuses the Holy See of failing to acknowledge the scale of the problem and also failing to act to protect the children. But as you can read in La Stampa, the Italian paper, the Vatican is hitting back and said, first of all, it was very surprised by these accusations. It said that this report was out of date, unfair, and ideological. And in fact, the Vatican was also very critical of the panel and said that it was the panel, for instance, said it was critical of the Vatican for being anti-homosexual. And the Vatican, a senior Vatican official told the Vatican radio that he suspected that pro-gay NGOs had been influencing the committee. So no mea culpa there from the Vatican.
No, certainly not. Now, moving on, the Sochi Winter Olympics, been talking about it all morning and hot off the press.
That's right. Now, some events are starting today, but in the Moscow Times, you can read that the first Olympic race began actually earlier this week, and that's a race to save stray dogs. Now, local authorities had hired a pest removal service to catch hundreds of stray dogs that have been wandering around the site and to eliminate the problem, so kill them, basically. Yeah. But as you can read in the Moscow Times, there's been a rare display of puppy love at the Olympic site. Basically, one of Russia's billionaires, a certain Oleg Deripaska, has set up Sochi's first dog shelter. So now it's a race against time to save those puppies.
Well done to Oleg. Now, the official ceremony, of course, not till tomorrow. Going to be a lot of no-shows, aren't there?
That's right. Barack Obama, David Cameron, Angela Merkel. In The Guardian, you can read that a lot of people are saying that this is a boycott to protest against Russia's anti-gay laws. But as you can read here, the head of the International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach, is hitting back, saying that these no-showers are actually just trying to seek headlines. But you can read in The Independent that Norway has taken a very different approach to all this. The health minister, Bent Hole, he's the official representative at the Winter Paralympics, and he'll be cheering on Norway with his husband. It's not remarkable for someone to go to a game with their spouse, but given the climate, The Independent says this is a powerful signal.
A lot of focus are still on the games themselves, though,
That's
aren't
right. You kind of forget that this is all about sport, after all. The Guardian takes a look at who has a chance of winning. And according to this map here, well, Norway, the U.S., and Russia are the front runners. The Guardian has pulled together every medal that's been won by every country since the Winter Olympics began in 1924. France is 14th, and Team GB, I'm sorry to say, is 20th.
Oh dear, not looking so good. Well, we don't have enough snow, that's the excuse, or enough mountains. Finally, with the games, the spotlight is on Sochi, the city.
That's right. Now, according to Slate, with these 2014 Winter Olympics, the world is going to discover Sochi, but perhaps in a fast and incomplete way. But this Slate has an uncensored look at the real Sochi today, and let's see if we can take a look at some of these photos. This is really incredible. These are photos taken by a Dutch photographer named Rob Horsna and a journalist named Arnold van Bruggen. They've been spending the last 5 years in Sochi, basically working on what they call the Sochi Project. I love this guy.
I was worried when we saw the top half. Okay,
there is something on the bottom. Basically, they're trying to show what's beyond the stadium, what's beyond what they call the Putin show. And they're really incredible photos of Sochi from the last 5 years. Let's take a look at some other ones. All sorts of various people who are living there. Sochi is known as the Florida of Russia. I didn't know that. And And so basically they're trying to, sorry about that one, I wasn't going to show that one, but all sorts of characters, basically what's beyond the Olympics and what's going to be left after the Olympics are over.
Real life in Sochi. Okay, Flo, thank you very much. Flo with the computer that only works on that side. We'll know with the international press. Coming up for you, the very latest news, plus in today's focus, serious report today. In fact, we're going to be reporting on an issue which is said to have affected up to 140 million women across the planet. Today is the International Day of Zero Tolerance to Female Genital Mutilation, or of course otherwise known as female circumcision. A special report from Kenya in focus coming up.